Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the 60 Podcast. I am your host, Walker, co host.
What's good, Jordan? We're the champs again.
We are the champs. Okay, so what are we doing today? Our last video, we did our mock draft, and now we're going to kind of look at the finalized draft classes here and kind of tell us, what we think, thoughts, good, bad. I was kind of thinking, Jordan, do you want to do like a school grading system kind of thing where like this class is
Yeah. Yeah,
B
we could do that. Yeah,
minus?
that's a
Okay.
classic.
So let's fire it off. I mean, I know what I think about the Arizona Cardinals draft class. So what are you thinking?
Let me look through. Let's see who we got here. Got BJ, a brother of Aziz. That's a good pick, I feel like. I feel like he was a good player. He was a pretty good player at LSU. They need some pass rush guy to replace JJ Watt. So that makes sense. Paris Johnson. Uh they traded back for this one.
They traded. See, I was gonna
No,
bring
they
that up.
traded back and then they traded up.
Yeah, and I think they acquired so the big part about this trade and why I like it so much and probably isn't talked about enough is not only did they get, listen, I love Broderick. I think they got the best tackle in the draft though. I
Yeah.
like Paris Johnson. Um, I mean, two, they're making Kyler happy. Kyler came out and said it
I,
was literally, by the
I,
way, right after we posted the mock. I'm telling everyone right now, right after we posted the mock, like less than an hour, the tweet came out about how Kyler said, "Go get me Paris Johnson." I was like, "Well, I would have picked him if I knew that."
yeah, no, seriously.
Anyway, so whatever. When you're looking at our mock and you're like, "Oh, it's so wrong."
I was gonna mention something about the Kyler wanting a Paris Johnson thing too. It kind of reminds me of when remember the Bengals had a top 5 pick after Joe Burrow's first year, and everybody was saying they should go get a lineman because their line was so bad. He's like, nah, give me Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
He knew,
make him
and
happy.
now that's one of the best combos in the
It's a
league.
it's a new regime
So,
in Arizona too, so
so
I
it's
definitely
interesting. I mean, but if anything, I mean, if they get the first pick or the second pick or whatever, they'll get Caleb Williams and they'll have a guy
I
that can
was
help
about
for
to
him anyway.
say that for those of you that don't know, the Texans have two first round picks next year. They traded one of them to go from whatever from I guess to
Back at that 3 for
yeah,
Williams.
to get back to that third pick, right? So they traded up to 3 and then uh yeah, Cardinals traded from 12 or something, was it? 10? I don't know. Traded back up to 6. Anyway, but they have retained the first round pick from Houston in the process, which I mean,
They
people
could
are,
literally draft Caleb. Could they literally draft like
yeah.
Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison?
And I think I don't know. I'd
100%.
have to look at it. I'm pretty sure they're retaining their own first round pick. So if they end up just sucking this year, there's a good chance
Not
that
to mention if
they
they
have
trade
two
D
top
Hop,
10, two top
trade
5 picks even
trade
next year.
D Hop, trade D Hop too. Gets to get a like a not a first round pick, probably not, but like a third
Yeah.
round pick maybe or second round pick.
So I'm gonna say if you consider,
I think it's pretty good. I give it a B.
see, but if
I
you
really
also
don't know
consider
who.
how they navigated the board, and I really like their first 3
Oh,
picks.
they have Owen Papo. F.
Clayton Tune is not terrible either, to be quite honest. I'm gonna give him an A minus.
I'll give him a B because I don't know who half the people are. To be completely honest, I have not done research in the draft this year. I'll be honest, but they got Owen Papo.
I'm
I'll probably give him an F, but actually, I'll probably give him like a B plus. I mean, kind of like they're doing something now and for the future, kind of thing. If that makes sense.
yeah,
Like just in case the Kyler thing goes wrong, they're
for
definitely a
sure.
candidate to
I
go
like
get Caleb Williams.
I'm gonna try to not talk for a million years about this, but we're getting it over quick. The Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, me.
I
Well, I
mean,
said this about the Bijan pick before. Picking a running back high is, I not no for at least me. But I mean, if you're looking for an instant impact guy that's gonna help you now, I mean, you got your guy. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a bad pick. Like somebody said, like a Bijan Robinson was like a Hall of Famer or something, this would be a bad pick. Yeah, I mean, it
That's
depends. It depends what you do with it, really. To be honest, like
yeah,
if the Falcons win a Super Bowl while Bijan's on the team, like in his first 4 years, like in his prime, then it was worth it. But if they just like if it just gets to the point where they didn't really do much with them, and like that now you got to think about having to pay them, and you pay
right.
them, and then you're in cap hell, like I don't know. But I mean, I wouldn't say it's particularly a bad pick, but running backs. I mean, I guess they didn't do what the Lions did and got Gibbs. So, I mean, not a bad pick. But Jalen Carter on the board though. That's the thing there.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. I mean, I feel like I don't remember if I said it on the mock pod, but I just had a vibe the entire time that even if Jalen was on the board, we were not taking him. And also in the mock pod, and I don't feel like repeating myself, I'm sorry. I explained all the reasons why we should draft Bijan, and I don't want to go back over them. I liked the pick. I
That's
was
a
excited. We were together live when it happened, and probably half of our subscribers sitting at that one table. Um, maybe at least a quarter of them.
yeah.
But we had a blast that night. And yeah, I like the Bijan pick. I think he's explosive. He's dynamic. He's
Yeah.
versatile. I
I mean,
mean,
you got one of the instant impact guys. Like,
yeah. I'm like, you
I
can't
mean,
be too
hey,
bad
and
with
let's just say, sorry, but let's just say Ritter sucks ass. I mean, you put in a quarterback, you draft a new quarterback. I mean, you got him a really good running back behind you. You got Drake
with
London.
three good running backs.
How
So
I
it's
mean,
kind
we'll
of like
see.
if
I
he can't
mean,
throw it at all, just run it every play.
maybe Kyle Pitts will show that potential. I mean, they got some weapons
It's
on
it is
offense.
interesting. And then I mean we go into our second pick, right, with Matthew Bergeron.
I
This
mean,
one was
they need a
interesting.
line. I mean, their line usually sucks. I think so.
So what's interesting about this pick is remember there was that clip of the Cowboys war room, which is like the only time I've ever seen an actual like video of people
Oh yeah,
debating
like
between players by name. Like they're talking about this guy.
yeah.
Interesting. Now,
No, I love those
interesting.
videos.
He
They're
played,
hilarious.
I think he played left tackle at Syracuse. He's also from Canada, and I was looking up a little bit about him. Kind of interesting. He was one of those guys that I don't think started, or I mean, he was playing Canadian football, but he wasn't playing American football until he got to Syracuse. So he's only played a couple years, but he's a mauler. And what I was gonna say about this is, I find it interesting that a lot of teams, when they attack the draft and free agency, I mean, I guess free agency is for attacking holes, I feel like for the most part, like filling needs kind of thing. But it definitely, with these first two picks in the Falcons draft, it's very much showing me they're kind of leaning into their identity of running the ball like that instead of maybe like patching what they're bad at, if that makes sense. It seems like they're just like, let's just get better at
I
the
just,
only thing we're good
yeah,
at, which is
just
running the
max
ball.
out.
Yeah, exactly. It's very interesting to see if it pays off. Another thing interesting about this entire draft class.
The
Um,
Utah guy's pretty good.
yes, he's my favorite pick that the Falcons had, by the way.
I
Getting
remember
Phillips
him.
in the third is crazy. This dude's a starter. Like, I think he's
Yeah,
our
I
starting
agree.
nickel right now. I think the only reason he even slipped to the fourth round was because of his size. He's a little small, but like he's a Tasmanian devil, you know what I mean? He's one of those kind of guys. He's scrappy. And he was like, I think he was what was he first team all Pac-12?
Yeah,
Another
I think so.
very
I mean, he was
interesting.
pretty good. I
Yeah, he
remember
was
him.
like corner of the year.
Zach Harrison. I mean, I don't know how he did at Ohio State, but I remember he was a 5 star.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like, I feel like up and down the board, and obviously we traded a what? We traded our fifth, and I thought we had two fourths, maybe. I don't know. We traded up to get Bergeron, so it is what it is. Also, though, something very, very interesting I saw on like the official Falcons podcast. They said that
Bitches.
every, I think I'm not sure about every single one, at least all of but one were team captains for their teams.
Nice.
Falcons are bringing in leaders. It's
Bringing
about
the
more.
leadership.
And they
That's
also,
bullshit.
well, I was going to say, I also noticed like when they were on the phone call with Bijan, right? The draft phone call,
Mm-hmm.
it was very, I'd have to go back and look at it, but I seem to remember getting a vibe that they weren't like, wow, you're going to be such a good player for us. It was literally like, hey, you're such like a cool person. And want you in our building. And I don't know, just saying, I feel like the Falcons are drafting. Maybe it's the worst strategy in the world. I don't know, but it seems like they're drafting like good guys. You know what I mean? I really think Bijan could be like face of the franchise. Like I in a year or two. I don't know. Anyway, we don't have to talk too much about the Falcons. My favorite pick was definitely Clark Phillips, though, in the fourth, at least for the value. We should do that every if they have one. I want to point it out who my favorite pick. Ooh, we should do favorite pick and worst pick, and then overall grade.
Um, I go favorite pick, Clark Phillips. I agree with that. I'll go worst pick, the Alabama guy, because he's from Alabama.
Led Alabama in tackles though at safety.
Oh wow, good job. How many? He did great against Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I know it's a seventh round pick, but double dipping on guard in the seventh round. Kind of wanted a receiver or something, you know? That'd probably be my least favorite pick. I'm like, why are we getting two guards? I guess I don't know. Never mind. But yeah, Clark Phillips also my favorite pick for the value there. Um, I like the Falcons draft class all right. Being completely, I'm trying to be unbiased. I'd probably say this is realistically a B minus. There's just not a lot, like we
Yeah,
only
I was
have a couple
gonna say
vets.
like I was gonna say B. I was gonna say B-ish, but then they drafted the Alabama guy, so I'll say F.
I
AKA.
do kind of I do kind of wish I don't know. If I could have it my way, like I still like the Bijan pick. I probably wouldn't change too much there. Especially with Tyree Wilson going seventh right in front. I'd probably say, I mean, who knows? Matthew Bergeron might be the best guard ever because allegedly the Cowboys were gonna take him at like pick 26 or something.
You're relying on the Cowboys?
I no. But I'm just saying there was at least a team that had him as a first round pick. So this might have been a steal. But also I seem to remember there were lots of good players on the board at that pick 38,
Like
especially.
Darnell.
Yeah, like there were tons of guys. I kind of wanted, maybe another edge rusher or one of those defensive guys that slipped just a little bit. Um, I'd have to go back and look at the whole class, but I definitely remember thinking like maybe we could get a guard a little farther back and draft one more juicy guy before we start getting into these linemen.
Amen. All right, let's
Next, I'll give him a B minus. Still good.
Baltimore,
Happy with it.
the Ravens.
Moving on
I
to
like the Zay Flowers pick. I think he's pretty good.
I did too. I
They
don't
need
remember.
receivers, get Lamar help.
I think I don't remember once again. I don't go back and rewatch the pods, and they're very free flowing if everyone can't already tell. We don't plan anything in advance. We just kind of wing it. So I don't have any notes going into it. I don't have an agenda. It's just what I feel. But that being said, I feel like Zay Flowers was probably no, never mind. He was my wide receiver too. I like Jackson Smith better. But Flowers, I like a lot. He's a cool deep threat. I really like if we're incorporating what the Ravens have done in the off season as well. If you're talking about bringing in Odell, didn't they bring in someone else too?
I want to say yes, but I might be wrong.
Off the top of my head, I definitely feel like, at least it appears on
Tomorrow,
paper.
tomorrow to the Ravens. Don't sleep.
Interesting. It definitely appears though that the Ravens are, they're actually trying to help
Go
them out for the first time ever. I mean, they got him Bateman a couple years ago, but they traded
Hollywood.
yeah, they traded Hollywood. They were kind of in a pinch with that one though. Anyway, but here we are. Yeah, now he has at least Flowers, Bateman, and Odell. I feel like he's got a
A
solid
little,
wide
yeah.
receiver.
There's something there.
Trenton Simpson, very interesting. He's just super athletic, but kind of raw, but very fast, like one of those kind of guys. I feel like the Ravens have been they like to stash guys, which also spoiler, my favorite pick, Andrew Voorhees, seventh round pick. This guy's a beast.
That's the
I
guy
think
that tore his ACL.
yes, but I think this
Wow.
guy would have been. I think he would have been probably a second round pick if he didn't tear his ACL like at his pro day. So like he's stashing him. Remember, Ravens did the same exact thing last year. They drafted David Ajabo. Remember him? Talking about him being a top 15 pick from Michigan, edge rusher, tears his Achilles at the pro day, and they just like draft him way down the line. They're like, I know he's injured, but he'll recover from it. And then we have a first round pick, then we only spent a third on him or something. Here's another guy. I think they have a starting lineman a year from now, obviously, but like this dude, I think, would have been a second or third round pick, and you get him for nothing. That pick 229, that's crazy. That's my favorite pick they made. Honestly, I don't love their draft in general. I'd probably give them a B.
Yeah, I'd say B minus ish, I guess. I mean,
Where'd
I
their
mean,
second
Zay
round
Flowers
pick?
probably my favorite pick. My least favorite is probably Trenton Simpson because he went to Clemson.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah.
My least favorite pick is Malasea Alamuve Laulo
That's
because
a hard name.
because I am sympathetic for the jersey worker who has to print that every game.
Oh
They're gonna hate this.
my God.
Right,
Oh, the
here we go. We're on to the Buffalo
Buffalo
Bills.
Bills.
Another team that doesn't have a ton of draft picks, but I think
I think they did
did a
pretty good.
pretty good job with them, other than drafting two Florida guys.
Yeah, I was gonna look for it, guy. Oh, two.
Now, Dalton Kincaid, absolute stud. I know you're going to be sad they didn't take Darnell and Darnell slipped or whatever, but this guy he was my favorite tight end in the draft. I think he just reminds me a ton of like just Travis Kelsey for
Yeah,
a
he's
lack
a
of a
beast.
better enough. This dude, he's just a pure pass catcher. This guy is a receiver.
Yeah,
He's a weapon. He's not a tight end. I
he's
really think,
somebody you put in the slot.
oh, 100%. This guy plays slot. Like, he's going to be so good.
Yeah, he's a beast. That was a good pick. I agree.
I absolutely love this pick. Like I said, he's an offensive weapon, and they just need a guy like this. I don't know. This guy's a receiver. I really think they're gonna like Dawson Knox is gonna stay on the field too.
Yeah.
Like you said, this guy's playing in the slot. He's not a blocker, but he's gonna be a red zone magnet.
Just another
I'm getting
weapon
him in
for.
fantasy this year. Don't draft.
Uh, let's see about that. But
Yeah,
another weapon for Josh Allen. I
love
like
that pick. Love that pick. Round two. Great value here. I thought Osiris Torrance. I know I don't want to hype up Florida guys. This guy was probably the best guard in the class. I can't think of who I had. I feel like he's the best guard, and they got him at a great value. And they needed a line help, like always protect Josh Allen kind of thing. Like they've been trying to build that O line around him for a while. I love that pick, honestly. Um, Dorian Williams, I don't know a ton about him, but pretty good linebacker from Tulane. And I don't know the other two guys, to be quite honest. Look at how many times that last pick was
Oh
traded
my
to
gosh.
the
Yeah.
board. Is that
Probably been
even
traded
worth
like
it?
6 times. Yeah. Dalton Kincaid definitely one of the best picks in the first round. So
Yeah.
um, that's my favorite. I guess my least favorite's the Florida guy because he went to Florida. Give it an F minus minus to Florida guys,
Oh,
aka I'll
come
give it a B plus.
on. I'm gonna give them a solid B, maybe a B plus. No, not quite a B plus. I'm gonna give them a B. I really like their first two picks. I'd say best pick for values got to be Osiris Torrance. I mean, like I said, he was mocked in the first round, and he went at the end of the second round. That's crazy. They got a starting lineman. They can plug and play him right now. All right, moving on to the number one overall pick owners, the Carolina Panthers. This one is very interesting. I should also point out, which we should have said at the very beginning, it's very hard to give out draft grades right now because we never know. Like, will you ever really know until technically all these players are retired?
Yeah, because you could
This
have to
was a
go
good draft
seventh
class.
seventh round pick.
No. So I should have said that at the beginning before we started. But um, this is one where I can't decide. Do you also want to count in what they gave up for this? Because like you can consider this as they also traded DJ Moore and
Yeah,
they
I
netted
mean,
this.
I guess they got Jonathan Mingo. I mean, he's decent. Ole Miss has
Yeah,
a
I heard
good track record with receivers.
I was gonna say, so the story about this one that's very interesting is apparently Steve Smith, obviously, Panthers legend, um, actually came to the Panthers organization. Steve Smith is like I mean, he played wide receiver, but I think he's also like, I know he's an analyst, but he might be a scout too. I don't even know. But apparently, he pounded the table to the Panthers and said, "You have to draft this guy." And then he pulled up his receipts, by the way,
Oh
his
damn.
receipts, which were very interesting. I watched a video on it, or I watched a video of him saying it, and he was saying that the last wide receiver that he really pounded the table for that went a little later was Cooper Cup. And then
That's
he
right.
pulled up a video.
I remember seeing that video of him
He
saying
pulled up
Cooper
a
Kupp's
video
the
of
number
him
one
saying Cooper
receiver.
Cup's the best wide receiver in the class, and then the
Yeah.
other people laughed at him.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Nah, that guy's the best one." And they're like, "Ah, you're just stupid, Steve Smith."
Yeah. I
He
agree.
was right. So maybe this guy's a beast. I don't know. I feel like the Panthers are doing everything right. You know what I mean? Like they wanted their quarterback, but what they've also done is they brought in Andy Dalton, right, to obviously be that veteran guy. They brought in Hayden Hurst, safety blanket. They brought in Adam Thielen, remember?
Got
I've
another guy too.
I've heard they've just brought in staff wise, they've brought in like a ton of quarterback coaches kind of thing.
Oh
Like
my god, they're going all
yeah, they're
in.
no, that's what I'm saying. I think they're doing it right. And then obviously they go quarterback, and then with their second pick, they go wide receiver. I feel like there's a formula here. They're not gonna let him fail kind of thing. Um,
Yeah.
I think Bryce Young was my favorite quarterback in the class. If I had the first overall pick, I would have taken him. That being said, the pictures I have seen recently of him in his Panthers uniform
Yes, he does
scare
look
me a
small
little
as
bit.
hell. He
Oh my God.
does. He looks
No,
so
like
small.
I mean, like it's like I knew he was small kind of thing. And
But
then
he looked bad.
you see him standing next to like Taylor Moton or someone who's like 6'8" at their right tackle, and you're like, oh my God, he's really small. But I don't know. I think the league is changing and you can't hit the quarterback. So I mean you can, but I also saw a very interesting fact.
Staying over
But
the line.
the stat was something like, I think it was something like 23 quarterbacks last year got injured while playing. And it was kind of like if
Mm.
almost every quarterback gets injured,
Yeah.
or I think it might have been, I don't know if it was just injured, quote unquote, or if it was like 23 quarterbacks like had to miss at least one game or something like
Yeah.
that. It was
Yeah.
crazy. But still, with that being said, everyone's like, oh, he's going to get crushed. He gets injured. And I'm like, every quarterback gets injured.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe he dies. It'll be fine. Another fun fact. I don't like hyping up Alabama guys. Everyone says he's too short. You want to know how many balls batted Bryce Young had in college at the line of scrimmage?
How many?
Two,
Both against Georgia?
maybe. I know Russell Wilson had three, and that was the comparable stat.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "You're complaining about how short he is, but he doesn't get balls batted down at the line." I mean, he also took like 50-step drops at Alabama and then would chuck it. So I don't even know. Anyway, I feel like he'll work out just fine, and Panthers are doing everything great. That being said, I don't love the rest of this draft. I don't.
Yeah, the little
But that being said, they gave up like their whole wad. But I do think they could have done a little bit better, especially in the. I don't even know who's DJ Johnson. I don't know these guys. Never mind. I don't want to bad talk them. I just don't know who they are.
Hey,
Um,
make a name for yourself. Have us talk about you. Let this be motivation, DJ
for sure, DJ Johnson, edge out of Oregon. Um,
from Pittsburgh.
But yeah, I don't love this draft class. It all depends on if Bryce Young is the GOAT or
Yeah,
not.
I mean,
Like, it doesn't matter what you gave up for him if he balls. So I don't even know.
I agree.
I would say B.
B. Yeah, I probably agree with that.
Next. Oh God, how
Oh,
many teams do we have
the
left?
Bears.
Oh my God,
No.
the Bears drafted like 500
Oh
people.
my
Yeah.
gosh. Okay, most of them in the seventh round. We don't know these people, so we're just gonna go off what they're showing right
Okay. Um, I will say, start off. I do like the Bears draft class. I think they did a good job of, obviously, as I showed you, they drafted a ton of people, And across the board, it definitely seems their theme is getting really athletic guys.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know, they drafted some studs in here. Maybe it was just because they drafted so many people, you're bound to get some guys in here. But obviously, Darnell Wright at 10 was very interesting. I thought that was a reach, especially if Broderick's on the board. A bunch of other guys, you know.
Yeah. But I guess they also got like more picks on top of that. So
Yeah, so I kind of try to loop that into that, that they traded back one pick and they got some other stuff. Gervin Dexter, was that the really big guy from Florida who's like 400 pounds?
yeah, I don't think he's like 400 pounds. I don't
Thought,
think
never mind. I thought Florida had one dude who
they
was
do, but I don't
literally,
think it's this guy.
oh, then never mind. Then I don't know who that guy is.
Tyreek Stevenson.
Once again, super athletic. A
Yeah.
guy, I hate to say it, he leaves Georgia and he really thrived at Miami. I want to pretend like, if you leave Georgia, it will never work out for you, but it worked out for him. He was cornerback one and or at Miami and he balled. Once again, another super athletic guy, very fast. Second round pick. I thought that was a good spot for him. I've heard a lot. I don't know who Zach Pickens is, but
He's a 5 star, I think,
a lot of the analysts like this guy, especially at the pick. Um,
in Texas running back.
we're probably at my favorite pick or my favorite two picks, both of the fourth round picks. I really like Roshan Johnson out of Texas. I think he's super underrated. I think he could honestly start for the Bears. Like they sent David Montgomery away.
Hmm.
And this guy could be a bell cow. I feel like he was one of those guys that like he was sitting behind Bijan the whole time. And what are you gonna do? Even though I
Let
heard a
me.
lot of people say that he was like running back three in the class, like literally goes what Bijan, Gibbs, and then Roshan, even though two of them went to Texas. So
Well, here's the question though. With you could get 1,000 yard rusher. Hell, the Falcons already got 1,000 yard rusher from like the fifth round. They draft a running back in the first round, anyways.
you
So
can never have too
this is
many running
usually the
backs.
method. I think you can get good running backs at least for a little bit, like in the fourth round.
Yeah, you can.
But I don't know this guy to be honest.
He's good. Tyler Scott from Cincinnati, burner. I like this guy. They need a wide receiver. I thought Tyler Scott was pretty underrated, and I like where he's going. I think he's a special teams guy too, or like a kick and punt returner. I might be wrong about that. I'm not an analyst, obviously. This is just guys I know. And then Noah Sewell, Pine Sewell's brother. Beast at Oregon. I think he got injured, maybe. That's why he slipped a little bit. I also think he's one of those guys that's very raw. Noah Sewell, fifth round pick. Why are you scrolling so much?
Oh, I was just looking. I was just doing it.
Um, yeah. Noah Sewell also another guy like, they just double dipped. I think they signed Tremaine Edmonds and who was the other guy? One of the Eagles linebackers because all
Yeah, I
got
picture in
poached.
my head. I don't know who.
Is it Edmund? No, not Edmonds. Kaiser White. I don't even know. One of those
Maybe.
guys. I can't remember. All I know, yeah, they got the other Eagles linebacker that balled out this year.
Yeah.
Starting over Nakobe Dean, who's going to be starting this year, by the way. Anyway, but if Noah Sewell doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. He doesn't have to play right now. But they needed help in that linebacker room bad, especially after
They
Rowe.
needed help with a lot of things, to be honest. And I think they tried to
And that's
cover as many
exactly
as
that's
many.
what
Yeah.
they did. They just had a million picks and they picked everything. I
Yeah.
like it. I'm gonna give them B plus.
Yeah, I'd say B plus too.
But
A good.
it's cheating a little bit because of the numbers, though. Like you drafted so
What?
many guys that like that has to be part of it. Like if you only have a four-person draft, like obviously I can't give you a good grade on it. Wait, I didn't do favorite, least favorite pick. Well,
Oh,
I kind of did. Favorite pick was Roshan Johnson. Least favorite pick, I don't even know. Maybe Darnell Wright at 10. I thought that was
yeah.
steep. And Broderick was on the board. Come on.
Mhm. Bastards. Now
Cincinnati
for the
Bengals.
Bengals.
Interesting draft. As you can see, first three picks were defense. very interesting. I guess in they got what's his name? Orlando Brown, um,
Right.
tackle, needed him. Um,
I like Chase Brown from Illinois. He's pretty good, and with the whole Joe Mixon, even with the whole thing that went on, and even before that, he was
for
somebody that
sure.
might get might be leaving Cincinnati soon. So
Yeah. This is
that
a
was a good
yeah.
pick too. Miles Murphy, he's all right, I guess.
I thought that was a good spot for him, both the team that drafted him and like whatever like scheme fit team that drafted him and like where he went.
You go get a corner. You get some. You replace the
DJ
guy that
Turner was
signed.
a really good pick.
You replace the safety that signed with the Falcons with Jordan Battle.
Yeah, I
I mean, you
mean,
got a punter.
I really like their first three picks to be honest.
Yeah, I think they had a.
Andre Iosivas, the wide receiver out of Princeton. I don't know. They made a big deal out of him being like the first Princeton player drafted in like 100 years. Maybe
Ooh,
not. It's something like that. But another guy, he's a burner. Um, yeah, this draft class is really solid. I'd probably give him a solid B or B minus. Favorite pick, either DJ Turner or Chase Brown. Least favorite pick, I don't even know. Taking a punter in the sixth round,
don't
unless they really
hate
need.
on the punter. All right, now for the Browns. Honestly, like I forgot they even had a draft because they didn't have their first two picks.
Yeah, so they didn't have their first round pick from Deshaun. Their second round pick was who was it? Not Elijah Moore. Is that his name? Elijah Moore?
The guy from the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They traded yeah, they traded for him. They traded got him for their second round pick. That being said, I'm gonna say it. For what they were given, if we're considering everything, right? I thought this was a good draft. I really do.
Hmm.
If you consider, that I mean, I guess if you consider that first round pick going into Deshaun Watson, that's kind of gross unless Deshaun returns to his former self this year. And then using that second round pick on Elijah Moore, who did not want to be there, he made that very clear. Which is interesting that, I mean, they bring in Aaron Rodgers. I wonder if that
Yeah.
changes things, but you're gone now. You pitched a fit.
Yeah.
So,
Too late.
but I guess that's two wide receivers.
Cedric Tillman. He's pretty
Cedric
good.
Tillman, don't like to hype up Tennessee guys, but he's solid.
Is he better than Hyatt? That's the question.
Yeah. His game might translate a little better in the NFL, to be honest. Um, Siaki Ika, don't know this guy, but sounds like a big Hawaiian dude who went to Baylor. He's probably pretty
Yeah.
good. I like the DeJuan Jones pick. Super long. I think they said he like broke the record for longest wingspan in a draft.
Ooh.
This guy's like 7 feet tall, 400 pounds. Maybe not really, but he was also ran a good 40 at the combine. I think he's just really athletic. Um, Isaiah McGuire also edge out of Missouri. He's solid. And then we got DTR in the fifth. I kind of like that. Like,
Yeah, you got backup for Deshaun
yeah.
if he
And then
goes
they
in.
got
This
Whiteler out of
hospital.
Ohio State. I think he was their starting center. Like I said, I feel like with what they were given, they did a good job here. I'd probably I'll give him a B minus.
You're strict with the A's out here.
Well, yeah,
You're very strict. I'm just saying.
I get Cardinals an A minus.
Oh, did you? Oh, I forgot about that. All right. How about the Cowboys? That Monty Smith guy should start. I know
Oh,
that
he'll definitely start.
he should start first
They
game.
don't have
They
anyone
they
else.
got the tight end that replaced Schultz, right?
That spoilers to everyone. That's my least favorite pick.
Ooh,
They drafted this Shoemaker guy with,
Darnell on the board.
I'm pretty sure,
They definitely did. Darnell wasn't picked until the third
I
round.
know Darnell was on the board. I think the Michael Mayer dude,
Oh
um,
yeah, who did he get drafted by?
I think
Oh,
Michael Mayer went to the Raiders to be the
yes, he did.
what's his name, replacement Waller.
Yeah, Waller.
No, I'm pretty sure he was still on the board. So this was insane. I had never even heard of this guy. And there were like three more good tight ends that I thought like were borderline first round caliber tight
Yeah,
ends. And they drafted this dude. And I remember being like, no way. That's dumb.
yeah.
Um, I don't even know. I remember being like, that was the worst pick. Demarion overshown. This guy's pretty good. Beast, Texas. I think he played I might be wrong. I thought he played a little bit of safety at Texas, but I could be wrong. But another athletic guy.
Deuce
I have
Vaughn.
no clue
I
who
think that's a
Evan
good pick.
Hull is. My favorite pick, though, right down there. 6th round pick.
Yeah, Deuce.
Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Maybe my least favorite pick is Evan Hull because who the heck are you and why did you get drafted before Deuce Vaughn?
Yeah,
Deuce Vaughn's a beast. He almost single-handedly beat Alabama.
he's a little Darren Sproles.
Seriously, he's like 5'9", and I don't know. He was the best player on that team, I thought. Actually, no, whatever, the
Broncos
Chiefs.
had a nut bunch of nothing because of the Russell
Yeah.
Wilson trade. Look at that.
This is another one, though, like their first two picks.
Drew
I
Sanders
mean,
pretty good.
I was going to say Drew
Oh, they
Sanders.
got the white. I think that's the white corner.
That is the white corner.
A.
Well, Drew Sanders, like I said, that's obviously my favorite pick here. I'm not a huge fan of Mims, but I mean, load up on weapons, I guess.
Yeah.
Drew Sanders, though, in the third, I'd honestly say is one of my favorite value picks of the entire draft.
Ooh,
I
yeah,
really
he's
think
pretty
I
good.
really think this guy was like I thought he could have gone late first round where that Campbell guy went from Iowa. But I didn't think I thought that would have been a reach. I definitely think he should have been a 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
And then to go in the third, kind of crazy. Don't know anything about the white corner, but if you're a white guy who's playing corner at a high
Probably the
enough
only
level
one.
to be drafted in the 3rd round, and everyone on that Iowa defense, like those guys are dogs.
Yeah, they carried.
I don't even know. I'd give this a C plus, maybe a B minus just for Drew Sanders. I'm going
Yeah.
off of value, not of, or I guess like the quality of their drafting, not their total value received. I got some hot
Detroit.
takes, okay? I got some hot
All right,
take.
let's hear it.
You know what the hot take is?
What?
That this is a really good draft.
Oh,
Everyone hates it. Everyone hates it. This
I
is a
was
good
gonna say I got
draft.
some beef.
This is a good draft. Dude, Gibbs is a beast. Campbell, beast. Laporta, beast. Brian Branch at pick 45. That's their best pick, by the way. That's insane that they could get them down, or that they could get him down there. Hendon Hooker, I don't. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, but if he's on the board, you know what I mean. You
Yeah,
don't
that
know if
one didn't
Goff's
make
your
much
guy. Why
sense.
not take a flyer? And then I don't know the other guys, but yeah, their first like 5 picks.
Gibbs was such a reach.
Eh, yeah, but they just really hate Swift. So
But they could have drafted him at 18.
um,
And they
see,
do hate
but
Swift.
here's the
I
thing.
was saying that.
Here's
I
the
was saying
thing.
that the whole year, and everyone thought I was lying. I'm like, no, they hate him. They don't like him.
I saw something that said, what if their draft, like if you took the same exact players and just like rearranged them? Like imagine if they took, I don't even remember. Imagine if they took Brian Branch at 12, Hooker at 18, or sorry, Gibbs at 18. I don't even know what's the order. Hooker probably at 34, then Laporta kind of thing. And then you're like, everyone's like, oh yeah, that's a good draft. I think it's the only because they took Gibbs so high and Campbell a little high. Um, but I don't know. I feel like people were saying at the very end, I guess he was borderline 1st round, but people were saying Laporta was going to go 1st round. Whatever the whispers, Peter Schrager, insider, was saying Laporta's going 1st round. Brian
I
Branch
was
at
wrong.
45 is insane. I thought he was going to go in the 20 to 30 range, honestly. That's their best pick. And like I said, I feel like if you rearrange the picks a little bit about where they made each one, I feel like you can make an argue, like you would have a different viewpoint of it. But I
Well, Dan
they
Campbell,
got some
that's his thing.
dogs.
I mean, he's about culture, I guess. So like,
I just, like I said, I think they got
yeah,
some dogs. Like
he thinks a little outside the box,
I
but
think
like,
they got four.
they're
I think they
competitive.
got four starters. Their first four picks are starters.
Who's winning that North? What Lions winning the North?
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean either them or the Vikings, but the Vikings just choke so bad. So I don't even know. The Vikings like had the amazing record and then they sucked. Wait, did I give my grade for them?
no.
A minus.
Oh, still with A minus though. No A.
No.
You're
Well,
strict.
there's an A coming, and I know who it is.
Green
I have more hot
Bay.
takes.
Green Bay. Green
More
Bay.
hot takes.
They
I
took forever to pick a receiver.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I care about the other two pass catching weapons. Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft, both beasts. Number one, if you think that they shouldn't have taken a second tight end because they already had one, you're dumb. Here's why.
They're
Well,
in the
really,
cold.
they just run a lot of 2 and 3 tight end sets. And number two, their best tight end on the roster was that Deguara guy.
Tunyon. Tunyon.
Tanyan's gone. He's on the Bears.
Oh, Tunyon's on the
Literally,
Bears.
literally, their best tight end is Deguara.
Yeah,
So
I guess you gotta go
they
to.
needed two, and both of these guys are beasts. I think I was telling you how good Tucker Kraft was. I was like, don't sleep. And Luke Musgrave, maybe tight end too. I do like Darnell though a lot, but crazy, crazy. I love that getting Jordan Love weapons too at the same time. And here's the thing about the tight ends, right? They can block a little bit too. You're not just getting him a
AJ
weapon in
Dillon,
the
Air Jones
pass game,
combo.
you're also helping out your run game, right?
Give
So
Jordan Love
it's
some
a
help.
win-win. It's a win-win.
Get him a
Um,
run game to work with.
so yes, those are my two favorite picks. I love that they took two tight ends. It's so cool. Lucas Van Ness, we didn't really talk about, but a little bit of a reach, but he's a Packers type of player. By that I mean a white guy from Iowa who's really raw but super strong, and he'll be just fine. And I do think that they kind of moved Rashawn Gary in a little bit, I think I don't remember. Or maybe they moved him out. I can't remember. But he started playing really well. So I'm assuming Van Ness will like fill in that other edge role.
Yeah. What do you give them? Packers.
Even-
I mean, they did solid. I give them a B
Yeah, I like B.
minus. B minus.
They needed more.
They got a
Yeah,
kicker from Auburn.
B minus. Just kidding.
The
He's pretty good.
Texans. Like
Texans.
people were kind of hating trading up for Will Anderson. You got the you got your quarterback, and then you got arguably the best player in the draft.
Yeah,
Like
I like it a lot. A draft pick.
I
Draft
don't
pick's a
I'm not
draft
hating.
pick.
You got your captain on offense and defense.
I agree. The only problem with this, and I will have to knock them a little bit, it keeps them out of the A range, is that they gave up their own first round pick and not their extra first round pick, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
the fact that if the Texans suck and that ends up being whatever, Marvin Harrison, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Uh, that's probably not worth it. Like you would
Yeah.
have rather had Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
because he's
I
going
agree.
top five.
Well, they got Tank
That being
Dell from
said,
Houston.
I was gonna say that being said,
He's pretty
Tank Dell
solid.
was I was really high on him. I think he could, I don't know, he could be a beast. I like him a lot. Very shifty. And I like that, I don't know, that it just feels right. I don't know why. The Stroud to Tank Dell combo just feels right.
Had the
And then
ring to it.
like you were kind of saying, getting their guy on offense and then also getting their guy on defense. Like if they were just they were deciding through the process and they were like, I cannot decide who to draft. Let's draft
I
both.
love this game both.
And it makes total sense. And I was
Love it.
saying it the whole time. They were going to go CJ Stroud at 2 because you never know. You don't want somebody, especially the Titans. You know, Titans and Colts need a quarterback. And Colts were literally picking at 4.
Hmm.
Sorry, I'm backtracking, but I just had to prove to everyone that I was right. This was never going to be Will Anderson. It was always going to be Stroud. They were taking a quarterback at 2 because if you let him fall to your division rival, that's just stupid. And you need a quarterback. He's the best quarterback on their team right now. Anyway, yeah, take your quarterback, and then from that 3 spot, the Cardinals are trying to trade out. And 2, they were already picking at like 10 or 12, which is probably right where the
Yeah,
Cardinals were trying to go. It made too much sense. And they had 2 first-round picks next year anyway.
yeah.
We should have thought about this in the mock that they were going to be
I
the
didn't
money.
know we were doing trades, to be honest.
Yeah, you're probably right. But anyway, it made too much sense looking back, and I really like the trade up. Like I said, a draft pick's a draft pick. Like use them wisely. Go get your guys. Don't just
Yeah, if
always
you
sit
like
there
them,
and
get
wait.
them.
Um, yeah, I really like the Tank Dell pick. To'o in the 5th is solid. I just think he's kind of a bum. Jarrett
Yeah, kind
Patterson.
of bummish.
Jarrett Patterson,
Can't
another.
cover for shit.
I bet that guy could start. Um, I don't even know. What am I thinking here? I feel like they got some guys. I feel like they got some guys. My favorite pick is either Patterson or Tank Dell, at least just for the value. Actually, I really do like trading up and going and getting Will Anderson too. I'll say my favorite pick is, yeah, I'm gonna go trading back up to Will. Least favorite pick, To'o
He's not
because
good.
he's not good and he went to Tennessee and Alabama,
He did go
so
to Tennessee. That's right. What a
he just
bastard.
died.
All right. The Colts, the controversy.
How many more of these do
Anthony Richardson.
we got to start going faster?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to speed it up.
Okay, the good news is about the Colts is I don't know any of these guys except for I
Josh
like
Downs.
Anthony Richardson. This class, this is another one kind of like the Panthers were, except this one's even more high stakes. This one will completely depend on if Richardson's good or not.
Yeah,
If he's good, this is sick. Like, because that's kind of Richardson's whole thing. Is like
yeah.
if he's good,
He's
then
gonna be pretty damn
he
good.
could be Josh Allen, and if he's bad, he's just like fast Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah,
So that'll be bad. My favorite pick is definitely Josh Downs in the 3rd.
I agree.
I love this dude. He's just super shifty, slot guy. I don't know, getting him at pick 79 is kind of insane. He's a guy I really wanted the Falcons to take, and they didn't. Um, anyway, I thought he would have matched him nicely. Blake Freeland. Oh, I forgot about this guy. The auto, what are they calling him? They're calling him ADAB or something.
Oh my god, I didn't even see that.
No, this guy's an absolute stud. This was another guy who people were kind of saying last minute had some first round hype.
Oh,
Absolutely like nuked the combine. Like he's a defensive tackle and he just went crazy. He was number 1 in every category. And they were like, he's so good. He's so athletic. So also Blake Freeland, big BYU offensive tackle. He might
yeah.
play a little bit. Um, let's not get too excited there. But yeah, let's see who else.
I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
recognize
know
any
any of these.
people.
They took a guy out of Wagner. What is Wagner? I've literally never heard of it. Favorite pick definitely either Josh Downs or I'm not even gonna try.
Northwestern guy.
80. Oh no, they're calling him 80 squared. That's what it was because it's
Ah,
80, 80. Yeah, that's way easier than whatever the heck he is.
yeah.
Wait, what's our grade? What's our grade? I'm gonna go. It just hinges on Anthony
I was
Richardson.
just about to say the same thing.
I
I'm
wouldn't
dumb.
personally take Anthony Richardson. That might bite me. You're gonna quote me on here.
What
You're
are you
gonna
saying? You
find
would or you wouldn't?
I would not, but I also
Oh,
understand that they need a quarterback.
yeah,
And if
I
you're
get it. I
willing,
get it. You got to get your guy. You got to
they
start with
also have the Eagles.
veterans.
They have the Eagles OC
Yeah,
Steichen,
that's what they're saying
so
before.
they can use them. I don't even know. I'd give them a B minus, maybe C plus. I don't really love
Yeah,
it.
nothing that crazy. Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. This. I'm not gonna lie, and I know I got some Jags fans in my life, okay? This might be my least favorite draft.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say I don't know any of these people,
It's bad. It's bad. It's not good. Um,
but I know
First
Tank.
of all, you pick a tackle at the 27th pick, and it feels like it's a last second thing.
Hmm.
Like I know Anton Harrison's good, and that was
I think
around.
they were trying to trade for one of the. They were trying to trade for somebody before they took this guy with the tackle. I forget who.
All I all I know is that
Honestly,
this seems very like it almost seems like they I can't describe it. It almost feels like they planned their draft like the day of. Because remember, who is it? I know one of their tackles, I get them mixed up. One of their tackles went to the Chiefs, and then their other tackle got suspended for PEDs,
huh?
which is why they had no choice essentially but to draft a tackle. And it definitely made me feel like it was very impromptu, almost like they didn't want to make this pick, but you had to get given your situation because you don't have any tackles.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it was a desperate.
Maybe it was just because it was so much of a need in that moment that I was like,
They're like take anybody.
you don't ever want to feel handicapped, like you have to draft something like no
Yeah,
matter who's on the board. And at that point, like he was literally like the fifth or sixth tackle to get drafted. So I feel like getting your fifth or sixth choice in tackle to a guy who might not even be a long-term starter, like he might be the GOAT, I don't know. But it definitely feels like he was a patch. Like they drafted this
yeah,
guy to start for 6 games while their starting tackle is has
yeah.
PED problems.
I guess that makes
Whatever.
sense.
Brendan Strange, who the heck are you? Another guy that got drafted in front of Darnell. Like I said, I can understand as much as I love Darnell. I'm a realist. I can understand why a team might have wanted some of the top guy or like the really top, whatever, the Dalton Kincaid, Mayer, I don't even know who else, Musgrave, right? Like I can understand why you might want him over Darnell. This is a guy, who the heck are you?
Yeah, he's
Why did he get taken in front
yeah.
of him? That's
No, that
disgusting. Tank Bigsby in the third, a little weird. I think I kind of like it though. He can kind of be the Thunder to the Kamara Lightning, even though they literally had James Robinson and just like decided he sucked and traded him away. It made no sense. Um,
it
that's
worked for
about the only
worked out for
compliment I'll give
ETN.
this draft class is no, that yeah, this is a C minus or a D to be quite honest. I don't
Yeah,
like
I
it
don't
at
know
all.
any of these people to be completely honest. Let's go to the champs.
Kansas City Chiefs, like you mentioned, these are the champs, and I mean they don't have a lot to work with, but listen, that's okay, right? They're the Kansas City Chiefs, and
Exactly.
the cost of winning the Super Bowl is you're picking last in every round. So your very first pick is pick 31 because the Dolphins had theirs forfeited, so that is the last pick of the first round. I guess I like what they did. Getting a guy, keeping him close to home, went to Kansas State. I mean, you can't really be mad about the Chiefs strategy because it's working. So it's one of those things you look at this and you're like, this looks kind of gross, but I'm like,
Yeah.
well, they're winning. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's what they've been picking in the back in the draft for like the past
yeah,
like since Patty's got there. Even before Patty got there, to be honest.
yeah. I
They've
like
been
the Rasheed
picking
Rice.
back half and they've been fine. So I don't know any of these people to be completely
I,
honest. So
I know Rasheed Rice too. I know the first two guys. I don't know any of the other ones. Rasheed Rice is a good receiver. I think he has some drop issues, but I think he's pretty good,
Andy
you know,
Reid will
with the
coach
ball
him
in his
up.
hand after the catch. And they needed a wide receiver, especially since the fact that Juju was their best wide receiver last year was
Now he's
disgusting.
gone. No.
And he's gone. Yeah, like you had to draft somebody. So I think he'll play a lot. Oh, and they lost Cole. Dang. Who
Yeah,
is he
they
throwing
did.
to this
He
year?
went to the Jets.
Darius Tony?
Oh
If he
yeah, I guess it
plays,
would be. Travis
I
Kelsey times five.
it's gonna be Travis Kelsey's show again.
All right. Let's go to
I
the
didn't get
give your grade.
eh. I'll give him a it I'll give him like a C plus or a B, but B minus.
The Raiders.
Raiders, I like this draft. I really like Tyree Wilson at 7. You're pairing someone with uh what's his name, Max Crosby, it's pretty obvious that Chandler Jones, you know, isn't that guy. Uh,
Yeah, get a pass rush with Crosby.
yeah, he was fantastic. One of the most I'd say Chandler Jones is literally the most underrated pass rusher of like this generation of
Oh
pass rush.
yeah, yeah, you
Like,
got
dude is
that.
like, if you go look at like the sack leaderboards, it's crazy. Like he's up there, and no one even talks about him as like a great player. I feel like, but yeah, his time is coming to an end. I feel like, and I really like this pick. This was a guy. I'm glad the Raiders took it 7 because that would have been a bad internal dilemma if he was there for the Falcons pick. So I kind of liked it. I was like, I don't even have to think about
Yeah,
it.
you don't even have to worry about it.
No, I don't have to think about it because that would have been the perfect pick for the Falcons at 8, in my opinion. Michael Mayer, getting him at 35, I think
Waller
is
replacement.
good value. I
Yeah.
thought this guy was the best. He just reminds me so much of just like the stereotypical like 2000s tight end.
Mm,
He's just like a
I feel
six
that.
five big white dude, not super fast, can't catch the ball super well, but he does like everything solid. And I like
Hmm.
it. And also whatever the Waller replacement. I
Chris
don't
Smith. They took Chris Smith.
Yes. I also like Aiden O'Connell in the fourth. I mean, it
I
is
mean,
what.
Jimmy G gets hurt all the time. So I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure. I mean, and this guy was solid at Purdue. I think he was a 3, maybe even a 4-year starter. I feel like
yeah,
at least I feel like he is. And then yeah, Chris Smith, dog, we love him.
sir.
But then they went right back and drafted a Florida guy, so it cancels out.
It'll make it so
Byron Young in the third. Don't know a ton about him, but I feel like all defensive linemen out of Alabama are solid at worst. So um, I don't know. I feel like this was a pretty good class for them. I'm gonna give them another B.
funny. And here we go. David tune in. It's the Chargers.
I mean, maybe David could just talk for me, but I don't.
Oh, he's not here.
Oh, where's he?
I don't know, but I don't want him going on for like 20 minutes about their shitty ass picks. Their
Oh,
TCU West. Did you see what their stupid GM said? He said TCU is just as good as Alabama and Georgia.
yep, that was the dumbest thing I've
What?
ever.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that. Quentin Johnston, I like him all right. I feel like all of
It's, a
these
Mike,
picks,
it's like,
I'm not,
isn't it just basically another Mike Williams?
yeah, and I
That's
feel
what I
like
told
I'm
David.
not. I feel like I'm not throwing up at any of these picks. You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh, this is terrible. But I'm also like, none of these make
Yeah,
me
really
excited.
moved the needle.
I'm not like, yeah, exactly. I'm not like, you got a steal here.
Yeah.
I just liked Addison a little more than Quentin Johnston. I
Zay
don't,
Flowers was on the board as well.
yeah, I like him better too. I don't even know. Um,
We're
sorry,
looking
David.
in the
This
natties.
this is a C, maybe C plus. Don't
Max
love it.
Duggan.
I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah, bro. The Rams. All right.
Um,
Stetson is starting game. We were talking about it. It's happening.
yes, yes. So
The undrafted talk was ridiculous.
yes, but also, yeah, I just want to put it. Actually, well, it still hasn't happened yet, so now I can put it out into the world. And I texted Jordan, and I said, my maybe not even a hot take, but I think it's a hot take. Stetson Bennett. Am I looking into the camera?
Yeah,
Stetson Bennett will start a game in the NFL this season.
I agree.
One, as of right now, Stetson Bennett is one of 2 quarterbacks on the Rams roster. And number two, Matt Stafford. uh, Two things about Matt Stafford. I love him, obviously.
He
You
just
know,
got hurt. Like his elbow.
yeah,
I don't know
but
how his
he's been
elbow hurt.
hurt. He's been hurt. And two, he was pretty garbage even when he did play
His
last
line
year.
sucks,
So
which is interesting with the TCU pick if they need someone.
Stetson's gonna start and play. He's gonna start a game this
If
year.
Baker
Getting
Mayfield can start a
Warren
game, if
Warren in the fifth round
weekend,
too.
that's what it does. Yeah, I'm
Warren
saying it's a
McClendon in
good
the
pick. They
fifth,
liked it. They were pumped about it. McVay was hyped. Warren
and then I
McClendon,
mean
another goalie.
their first pick was a guard, which
I mean, they needed
it's
one.
not sexy. You needed it though. I like it. I'm gonna give them. Ooh, I kind of like
Oh,
Travius Hodges.
Zach Evans, he's a solid.
Hodges Tomlinson too in the
Yeah,
sixth is great value.
yeah,
Zach
that's a pretty good
Evans
draft.
too. Zach Evans might do nothing, but like he's a sixth round
I
pick.
mean, the whole Cam Akers situation, go get a running
Yeah,
back.
you
I mean,
never
it's
have.
pretty good.
They just this
And
is
he's
a
like, yeah, he's fresh. He split time with the other Ole Miss guy too. So he's like, it's not like just not tread on the tires or anything.
yeah.
They got a punter.
I'll give them a solid C.
C. I'm giving
C
him an A.
plus. You're giving them it just from stats.
That's because of Stetson. Hey, that's a good pick. That's the place. That's probably the number one place I would want him to go.
Fine, I'll give them a C plus.
Yay. Oh, the Dolphins had no picks.
This is just sad, but yeah, this they traded away their entire life and soul for Tyreek Hill
Yeah,
and Jalen
probably.
Ramsey. Oh my God, they got Jalen Ramsey too.
Yeah, they got Ramsey.
That's their strategy, I guess. Selling out.
I
This
mean, that's
isn't
what the
even
Rams
draft. I
did.
feel like
Hey, Rams got a Super Bowl out of it.
I can't even rate this. Like this just gets an
I know
incomplete.
who Cam Smith is. I feel like he's pretty good. Player him up
I
with
feel
Jalen
like
Ramsey could be
I feel like
solid. Everybody else, I have no idea who they are.
the Devin Achain guy, I think, was like the fastest running back in the trap or in the class. So
Uh-huh.
they're going
Well,
speed.
the
They have Tyreek
49ers,
Hill. Hey,
Mike
now that I think
or
about it,
Mike McDaniels, I think, right? That's the Dolphins coach name.
yeah.
From San Francisco, they usually have good. San Francisco finds those
Hey,
running backs anywhere.
I was gonna say, now that I think about it, they're going speed. They got Jalen Waddle,
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek Hill, Mostert, who's super
Mostert,
fast, and now this
Mustard.
dude. They're just going the fastest guys they can find. Anyway, that's it.
Hey,
This
not a bad
they get
strategy.
they get an incomplete. This isn't even a real draft. Like
Mm.
I can't even give you a grade.
They're the Vikings.
Vikings.
Jordan Addison's pretty good.
I don't love it. I
Another
really like their yeah. I really like their first pick. I don't even know the other guys to be honest. I know Jaron Hall, but like I
he's
he's not
not doing nothing. Right,
Dwayne
at least right now.
McBride. Dwayne McBride is a beast. So to get him in the
I mean,
seventh,
Dalvin Cook, they might trade him. Who knows?
yeah. I don't know.
But
Don't love it. I don't have a ton to say other than like I do like I said it already. I
yeah, I
like
mean,
the first
Addison's
pick.
pretty good. I
Rest
like
of
his
your
stuff.
picks are question marks. Well, mainly because I don't know them. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but
Sorry, Vikings fans. But
I'll give
let us
you
know
a
how you feel in the comments.
C
Love them.
plus.
The New England Patriots, classic. They always seem to have a little interesting draft. I actually like my Georgia Tech sources were hyping up the Georgia Tech guy.
Yeah,
They got him in the second round.
he's
Um,
good.
I forgot.
Did you see how mad he was? Like there was a video of him getting drafted, and he just looked like he hated his life. It was very,
Really?
you know.
He's
Anyway,
like, damn it. Kayshawn,
yeah,
did you see? So you remember the whole conspiracy of the coach and like Booty and some girl that worked there were all fucking before that season?
yeah.
She got hired by the Patriots. He was on the team.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's insane. Amar
Amir
Speed.
Speed.
By the way, Amar Speed's a guy who left, and
He never think about this. He
yeah,
never
I'm not
played.
mad about it.
No, I'm just saying he never played and he was a 6th round pick.
Yeah.
That's how deep we were. Never played. Like never
Also,
played.
he came back for George's pro day. I think he was always a dog, but he was
I
like,
mean,
I'm
he was
gonna
there for
play with
four. He was literally there for 4 years.
yeah, he was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go play with Mel Tucker and get one season of experience where I can
Yeah.
actually play. Anyway, um, Christian Gonzalez at 17, I thought was pretty crazy. I thought this dude
Yeah.
was a top 12 pick ish, so good value there. And also they traded back because Pittsburgh traded up to go get Broderick, right? Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
They traded up, so they traded back and still got Christian Gonzalez is kind of black magic, if you ask me. So if you factor that in and getting Keon White in the second, that's a guy I would have liked to have seen the Falcons drafted because yeah, he would have been available when the Falcons picked. So I wanted him in the second round. I thought that would have been a great combo to get our edge guy. That was one of the guys I said, like I said, a little mad about that the Falcons didn't get him. Anyway, liked him a lot. The rest of these guys are typical Patriots guys. They drafted a kicker in the fourth round. Are you
And a
kidding
punter.
me?
They drafted a punter too.
Have
I
you seen
mean,
this thing that
Kayshawn's pretty good. I think that's a good pick in
I
like the
might want to
first
click
round.
on the punter just to confirm the theory? I don't want to leave this page though. Don't do it.
Oh.
But I heard that Belichick, like, I heard he likes to only have left-footed punters because the ball
Huh?
spins in the opposite direction and
Yeah.
it gives them a slightly better chance to drop the ball.
Yeah.
So crazy,
I
but
mean,
like
that's
any
something
edge he can
Belichick.
get,
Yeah, that's what something he would do.
more speed in there. I'm gonna say just almost just for their first two picks and mainly Christian Gonzalez getting him where he did. I'm gonna give him B plus.
So
These are good grades, by the way.
Walker's the strict.
I am very strict. Yes, I'm not handing out A's. Not no
Uh, how about your boys, the Saints? Brian
um
Greasy, he's pretty solid.
Saints. I thought their
Deontay
draft
Miller,
was
I think that's a solid pick.
yeah, I thought there were other running backs though that I liked better than him. Jake Haener in the fourth is interesting. He had a great pro day. A.T. Perry from Wake Forest, another guy who pretty good receiver. Forsyth could potentially start at center, maybe if they don't what was I gonna say? If they don't re-sign whoever their current guy is, I forgot his name. Um, I feel like it just depends on if Brzee good. I know that
Yeah.
sounds so vague, but like it just depends. I feel like they drafted for this is one of those like you were kind of talking about earlier. They're drafting for the future and the present kind of at the same time because
Mhm.
they lost Onyemata to the Falcons. So get a big D lineman in there in the middle. They get Foskey on the edge. Another guy is just like
Yeah, potential Kamara
athletic
replacement because he's going to the
beast.
Ravens.
Yeah, and you need Cam Jordan probably doesn't have a ton left in the tank. Dude is like really old. He's
Yeah,
good though, but they signed him back on a 1 year deal. This is probably his last year. So,
yeah, before he starts to
like I
decline.
said, they're kind of drafting for the future here. I'm still not entirely sure what the Saints are doing. I feel
No,
like
yeah,
they've
they're
been
like
in
a top
purgatory.
following every year.
They've been in purgatory since Drew Brees retired, and it's felt like no one can tell like if they have I don't know, everyone's like this team's good enough to go to the Super Bowl, or also they're the worst team in the NFL and nobody knows.
Yeah, but
So I don't know what the Saints are, especially with Derek Carr. But that's for another story. I
they just got a
love
whole
them.
lot of mid.
Yeah, C plus, B minus,
Yeah.
B minus. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
All right. How about the Giants getting Hyatt? They're getting Danny Dimes some weapons.
I love this draft.
Okay.
I do. So they traded, I don't remember if they traded forward or back to get Banks, but get a super athletic corner. I like Deontay Banks a lot. I think he was, yeah, I had him as like my cornerback three or cornerback four. Just beast. He's good. John Michael Smits. This was the guy, remember, in our mock. I'm pretty sure I mocked them taking him in the first round. They needed him so bad.
Oh
It made
yeah,
so
yeah.
much sense. And they get him at pick 57. It's amazing. He fell right to him. He's their guy. I thought they were going to take him in the first round. I really did. He was the best center, and they needed a center so bad. This guy is literally plug and play starter. He is their starting center right now. I don't care. Like, he's a beast. And then Jalen Hyatt. Don't love Jalen Hyatt. I'm not allowed to, right? I do think he's a little bit of a one trick pony. He's a deep threat guy, but getting him in the third round.
They needed receivers,
Yeah,
basically.
and getting him at pick 73 when we were doing the mock, I mean, we were there were some people questioning if
Hey, I mean,
take him at the end of the first.
teams look out for Saquon. You fall for that play action, Hyatt's gone. I mean, maybe it's kind of a little fit
Saquon can throw
kind
it
of thing like
too.
that. You get your little speedster.
Anyway, the first three picks alone, I just love them. I'm gonna give them A minus.
Oh, still no A's.
There's only one team that gets an A, I think.
How about the Jets? The Jets, the Jets, the Jets. After
Who
getting
is
Aaron
this guy?
Rodgers.
Listen, I feel like I'm relatively well versed, right, in the player pool, especially guys, essentially guys that have any chance of going in the first. I feel like I know for the most part, unless I have no clue who Joe Tippmann is, but he's a lineman.
Tippmann.
But most skill players or like defensive players that are supposed to go in the first round to it gets a little fuzzy in round three, you know what I mean? But I feel like I'm pretty good at round one and two guys, and then some round three guys. I don't know who this guy is. I'm going to be quite honest. I knew that, I
I
mean, I
didn't
had
know who he
heard
was
his
either.
name. I had heard his name, but I thought he'd be like a late second kind of guy. Like maybe I'm wrong. Like this guy might be the GOAT. I don't know. I'm just saying I didn't know who he was.
I
Um,
had no idea who he was either.
and then to take him at pick 15, kind of
Hey,
crazy.
I mean, hey, if they could have kept that pick instead of swapping with Green Bay,
I mean, what if they took Jordan Addison or something right
yeah,
there? Like, get him,
yeah, you
like,
got
you could have done
maybe
something
they
maybe
skipped out on
more.
JSN too.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
imagine?
they were a candidate to get a receiver, or a lineman with Broderick already picked, like before the Green Bay
Roderick
pick.
went at 14. Yeah.
Oh, so if they had the
I
Green Bay
think,
pick, or if they had their original pick without having to swap with Green Bay for that Aaron Rodgers pick, they could have got Broderick.
yeah. Um,
Crazy.
yeah, I don't like this draft. I'm gonna give him C minus.
Oh, Philly. This is an A in my opinion.
I've been saving it.
It was last. Oh wait, no, it's not last, but almost.
We're getting there. Yeah, I've been saving the A, and this is the reason. Listen, shout out to I forgot her name. My seventh grade science teacher. If you're out there, I this is really bad because I don't remember her name. Listen, I remember one time I did a project. Okay, I return it. Whatever. She hands it back to me. This was a big one. Like it was one of those projects that it was like half of our grade, even though it
Okay.
was in the seventh grade in middle school.
Yeah.
We did it. We worked on it like the whole semester. It was one of those projects where
The
the teacher
long. Yeah.
remember when the teacher would make sure you did it step by step? Like
Yeah.
every step along the way would be like a formative grade, and then the last
Yeah.
one would be like a triple summative. It was one of
Okay.
those kind of projects. Anyway, I get that giant project back. It's like a third of my grade. She gives it back to me, and it's a 98.
Oh.
Look through the whole thing. It's like a million pages. Look through the whole thing. There's not a single mark on it. And I go up to her and I was like, why is this a 98? I'm not complaining. Like, I just got a 98. You know what I mean? And then it was the bird project, by the way. It was all about birds. And
I know about this.
she points over and she was like, I can't in good conscience, even though it's amazing, but I can't in good
Oh, you
conscience.
got to start over. We totally paused right there. I didn't hear any of that.
How far back do I gotta go?
Uh, you said you went up to her. She said out of good conscience.
Okay,
And
then I didn't I just repeated myself. Okay. So essentially, it was the bird project. It was all about birds. We had to do like a project basically on every species of bird in Georgia. We had to draw a picture of it anatomically. We had to write like its size, its chirp, what
that
it
sounds
eats, and there had to
terrible.
be like 100 of them. Like I'm not even joking. I
Yeah, it
had to
probably was.
literally enlist the help of a real bird watcher to even do this project. This was insane. It's like the biggest project I've ever done. Anyway, so I was like, she was like, I can't in good conscience give you a 100 when, and then she like points to her right, and this other girl had made a 3D scrapbook. Like,
Oh,
you know, one of those pop-up books,
yeah, you
but
got one up.
she made like a real one. Like you opened the page and the bird popped out, and there was like a real, like photorealistic picture of this bird. And she was like, I can't give you a 100 and give her a 100. That's not fair. And I'm like, you're right. That's not fair. And that's my long way of saying I cannot give everyone an A when this is an A. That's
It
why I didn't do it. This is an A. They deserve the
all
A.
makes
And
sense.
we're all going based off of their skill. I mean, this is the best draft I've ever seen. One of them.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. They got the best, arguably the best player in the draft in Jalen Carter. Then you get Nolan, who was supposed to go
Nolan
like.
30.
Then you go get Keely too in the fourth round when he was a projected like second round pick.
Also,
You kidding
Sidney
me?
Brown out of Illinois. It says safety. I thought he was more like that nickel cornered guy. That dude's a beast too. But also, it's not just, it's also kind of placement as well. Also, we didn't even talk about it. The trade back.
Oh yeah, they traded back again.
Oh, wait, no, they traded up.
No, they did trade up. I think it was one spot though. So
Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. But you get potentially the best player in the draft. You get his teammate. It's not only getting a player as good as Nolan, it's also like getting a guy that knows him in the room with him to keep him on the straight and narrow. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Nolan's a fantastic leader. He'll
Genius.
keep and N'Kobe Dean a fantastic leader.
Tanner
Jordan
Tanner
Davis a
McKee in the
fantastic
sixth
leader.
too.
I mean,
Tanner McKee might have been the fifth best quarterback in the draft, and they get him in the sixth round. He's a little bit of a statue. He's a dying breed, but this dude's like 6'5" with a cannon.
hey, well, I mean, Jalen Hurts was out for a game or two, and Gardner Minshew kind of went off the first game, but then he kind of sucked ass in the other
Gardner
game.
Minshew's on the Colts.
I know, but he was on the Eagles. That's what I'm saying. So you need so maybe they feel like they need a reliable.
Oh, wait, I should have put this on.
They need a
That's why
reliable.
the Eagles draft. Wait, no, I'm giving the Eagles draft a G for the dog.
Oh, I like that. I'm giving him a G also.
Giving them a G.
No, but actually, like, and did the thing. You just coming back from the Super Bowl. They lost by like 4 points and now you're gonna get the best player in the draft. You're gonna get a guy that goes top 15. You're gonna get the Sidney Brown guy who's apparently good. Keely, who should have been like a second round pick. They traded for Swift as well. So you get that Miles Sanders replacement right there. I mean,
Oh, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, if you factor in that they traded for Swift, also using this pool of picks, maybe one
they,
of the
they
best
sent
drafts
him
of all
like nothing.
time. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie. I know it just happened in recency bias, but I think the Seattle Seahawks draft from last year can go into consideration for the best draft of all time. One of
Oh
them.
yeah, they had a good draft
They
last year.
drafted literally two starting tackles. They
Well, that's
drafted
the
they
Eagles.
drafted two starting corners. They drafted Tariq Woolen and Kobe Bryant. They drafted two starting tackles with Charles Cross and what's the other guy? Abraham Lucas. And they got Kenneth Walker. Are you kidding me? How did they let that happen? Anyway, okay, sorry.
And they usually have suspect drafts as well, like just like random
Actually,
stuff, like historically with Pete Carroll.
Eagles get a G. Okay, we're moving
I
on.
agree. Eagles get a G.
The Steelers. Hot take. My second favorite draft right
I
here.
was about to say they balled. Roderick's pretty damn
Not
good.
only they
Joey
moved
Porter's good too.
the way they navigated the board too, like we were talking about earlier, they jumped in front of the Packers who would have taken Broderick. Or sorry, not the
The
Packers, the
Jets.
yeah, the Jets who would have taken Broderick. Jump in front of the Jets. They go get their guy, and it's our guy too. Dog.
Love you.
Dog. Also, everyone was saying they're gonna take Joey Porter at pick 17 or whatever. They just sit there and wait, and they get him at pick 32. They
The
could have taken
Chase
him.
Claypool trade. What a terrible trade that was.
Absolutely.
That's the
It
Chase
ended up being
Claypool
pick
trade.
32.
Yeah,
Crazy. They
I
ended
think
up
that's
getting a
yeah.
starting corner when they needed it. They get a starting tackle, starting corner. Keanu Benton, also dog. One of those guys, I think he was tearing it up at the Senior Bowl. This guy will be a starter. Darnell.
In round 3.
Darnell. In the
He's
third round, that's the
no, it's
best pick.
ridiculous.
That's
He
the
was
best.
slipping. That was a joke. Yes,
I heard
him
it
and
was I heard it
Freiberg.
was because of injuries at the last second. They were apparently turned off
No,
by his foot from 2 years ago, which is dumb.
exactly. He's fine. It was the same thing with the Z. But
That
him
being
and
said,
Frymouth on at tight end, get Kenny Pickett some help. Najee Harris, an extra blocker, help out that line. I mean,
my
makes too much
rating,
sense.
I love it. My rating for the Steelers, a G. Oh God, I
I
want to
give him a
voice
G too.
a G. But on a real scale, I would also classify this. I'd probably give it an A as well. I might have to bump the Eagles up to that A plus, but the
Yeah.
Steelers is my second favorite draft, I think.
All right, San Francisco. I'll be honest, I know nobody here.
See, this is another. You can't. They trade all their
They
picks
got
away.
Robert Beal actually.
Robert Beal
I
will
like
bump them up to a C plus, maybe. No, a C. They drafted a kicker in the third round. I can't. I literally can't. I don't even know who these guys.
Latu. Did they draft Latu before Darnell? No way. Okay, 93. Yeah. Okay, they didn't. I was about to just
Yeah.
murder
Oh,
everybody.
see, I don't know.
I don't
Next,
know. It's not that appealing, but they didn't
Seahawks.
have the first two round picks, so just got coming.
Seahawks. We gotta. We
Oh, the
gotta.
Seahawks. I thought the Seahawks had a good draft too.
I'm gonna spoil everyone right now. Another A. The Seahawks have absolutely
I
murdered
agree.
it 2 years in a row. They get Devin Witherspoon. He was my cornerback one. You
Yeah.
get him at 5. I like it a lot. I mean, I don't have much to say about that. It
And
was really interesting.
JSN, a lot of
They
people wide
quickly
receiver.
have, like I said,
Charbonnet.
They have Kobe Bryant and Tariq Woolen already as starters, and now you're adding Witherspoon. This
Legion of Boom coming
they're
back.
going Legion of Boom too. Also Jackson Smith was my wide receiver one, and I just love the fit here because you can put Lockett and DK on both outsides, and Smith is your slot. Like insane. He's gonna
Yeah,
be
they're
so
going
good in
all in
this
for Gino. I like it. I
real.
like it.
Charbonnet, I thought was a little early, and this was
I
my
Kenneth
least
Walker
favorite pick.
backup though. Don't
If we're
have to make
doing,
Kenneth Walker the bell cow.
I guess, but if we're talking for the
I
value
like
here,
Kenny too.
I just don't love it. Yeah, and then getting Kenny in the seventh, great value.
Yes, I agree. Kenny was like a third round pick.
He should not have been there. Yeah, that was
Seventh
so
round was ridiculous. I don't understand why guys were slipping. Kenny was not a seventh round pick. He was like a third round pick.
probably because he's a little slow. I mean,
He can
he's
catch
not.
out the backfield.
I know. I'm just saying. Anyway, um, actually, I'm gonna bump.
Give him an A.
Yeah, I like A just for their first two picks alone. Like they hit 2 home runs. I feel like they did maybe not exactly what I would have done, but can't get mad.
The
And
Bucks.
years, this one is a weird question mark. Like I know the first three guys, but it didn't make a ton of sense to me. Kalijah Cansey I liked a lot, but also like you have Vita Vea. What I don't understand why you're drafting a D tackle. Maybe I made the comment that and it goes for the Saints as well, which I thought was interesting that both the Saints and the Falcons drafted interior defensive linemen after the Falcons took Bijan. They're scared.
Don't make
Don't say anything otherwise. They did. That's exactly what they did. That's the only reason you can give me why they took Elijah Cansey right here.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Cody Mock is that dude from North Dakota who's missing the two front teeth and he has like long red hair.
Oh,
Super ugly dude. I feel like he fits right in. The Buccaneers have a type, right? They had Ryan Jensen who looked very similar and getting Mock in there. I I don't love this draft. C plus.
yeah, it's not that great, but they're tanking for a quarterback for next year.
Like I said, I like Kalijah Cansey, but the fit just seemed odd to me. But also, I thought the same exact thing when they drafted Vita Vea. I remember being like, why would they draft
Yeah,
Vita
no,
Vea? You have Gerald McCoy, and then Gerald McCoy like gets injured 1 year later, and Vita Vea becomes the best defensive tackle in the league. So I don't even know.
yeah, maybe they
It's
know something.
dumb. This is how many more do we have?
I
Jesus.
think we got two more.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
That's in the Commanders, or maybe the football team now. We don't know.
Yeah, that was fun news. We can talk about that in a second. We've been doing this for like over an hour. Tennessee Titans. Um, interesting. I was saying the whole time that they had to go tackle.
E11.
I remember everyone was telling me this has to be a quarterback, and I was like, no, they're going tackle. Literally, Taylor
Well, to
Lewan
be
is
fair, nobody
gone.
really dropped to him.
Yeah, but also Taylor Lewan is gone, and I don't know. They needed to get younger, cheaper, and literally have a left tackle. So I knew this pick was tackle. It was interesting they didn't go Broderick here. I thought this would have been Broderick. Um,
Yeah.
anyway, but I thought this was solid. I thought this was either going to be a tackle like it was, or I think I said I could see this being a really. It would have been a reach, but they could have taken a receiver here too. They need receiver help bad, but I think this was a bigger need. So
Yeah.
I like the first pick. Getting Will Levis at 33 is quite interesting.
I
It depends.
mean, they just don't trust Tannehill or Harris, so they're just gonna take a flyer out on him. I mean,
Right.
nothing.
I heard there are some rumors he's slinging it a little bit
It
at
might be.
Titans.
I mean, honestly, the Malik Willis is terrible.
Yeah.
We're just giving up on him
I
until he
wonder
has.
if I wonder if he'll be so savage because he wore 7 at Kentucky and he's wearing 8
This,
currently. But what always happens is after the cuts are made, like everyone changes numbers because they
yeah, because
whatever.
numbers are huge.
And I'm like, can you imagine how savage it would be if you came in like they drafted you, you basically just like jumped over their quarterback they drafted last year. You get him like cut, kicked off the team, and then you take his number. Like you literally take his spot. Like you just I don't know, you take his job as the backup and you take his number,
Take his
you take
job
his
and his
life.
pride.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Anyway, I don't really know the other guys. Josh Weil, Cincinnati, I thought was a solid pick at where they got him, and also I like the Tulane running back as well, especially if there are rumors heating up that Derrick Henry might get traded,
Yeah,
which they
not
had to.
crazy.
They just have to be full tank mode if they trade Derrick
Yeah, if
Henry.
you trade
But they
Derrick Henry
also
on tank
his
mode,
contract is insane.
yeah,
Just super overpaid him, and now they're kind of like, uh-oh, we're gonna be paying
that's what I was talking about earlier.
him like 20 mil a year or something when he's 34 years old. Oh, okay. Wait, I didn't give them a
Oh,
right. I'll give them a mm, C plus,
yeah,
maybe a B
uh,
minus.
the Commanders.
If Levis ends up being a dog, then it's
Yeah, just a lot of depends.
here we go. I'm not even gonna pretend to know a bunch of these guys. Emmanuel Forbes,
He's like 170 pounds.
he's less than that. He's like
Yeah,
165, but
yeah.
had like 8 to 10 pick sixes, which is kind of insane in his career. Broke the record. Um, they
Oh,
needed a corner. I also this was just
that too.
Gonzalez was right there.
Yeah, that's right.
He's twice this guy's size. Um, I think this guy could be scrappy though. Like I like the way he plays. It's very interesting. Yeah, and then go 2 corners in a row. I don't even know. This draft is bad. I'm
I
gonna be
mean, just the classic Commanders.
This is bad. Yeah, you can tell. I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean to him, but you can tell that this organization is not ran well. Just
No,
this is
but they
bad.
just sold it to a new
They
place.
just sell it. Maybe they'll make some changes, and maybe they'll just overhaul everything because news came out literally today. We're timestamping it that I think they said something like the Commanders trademark didn't go through, and they might have to change names again. That's hilarious to me.
Football
That's
team.
just it's just it's so embarrassing. Like this is
They just rip
truly they're
off
just pathetic. Like this is so not ran well.
their
Anyway,
poverty.
this has been one of the longest pods I feel like we've ever done.
It might be, honestly.
With
But
that being said, let's go ahead and end this. If you made it all the way to the end, comment uh,
comment
who
your grades for your favorite team. What you think?
your grade for 7th grade honors science.
Yes, yes, that too.
Tell me
Yeah.
what you got on the bird project.
Probably the next pod. This is the end of the season, so probably the next pod is when football season starts, which we're
We
a
might.
hundred days, 100 days from UGA first game. So
Ooh, is this gonna? Maybe this is end of the season, and then I feel like we might do one where we like recap the entire off season and things
yeah,
to expect. Maybe when the first rankings come out. I don't know, but I think you're right. I think this is farewell from season two. I didn't even think
it
about
is. We did it on to season 3. It's gonna be bigger, better, and badder.
20 subscriber special coming soon.
Do we have 20
Close.
subscribers?
I don't know. I think we're at like 18. Oh,
No.
also I didn't talk about my background, but it's a classic. I wanted to be in the war room, but I was like, you know what's even better than the war room? To be in Bill Belichick's
Another
kitchen with
classic.
his Pomsky. All right. That's a farewell from the
All right,
sixth
you know what to do.
podcast. We'll
Like, subscribe, comment.
see you next season. We're not paying for our Zoom subscription for
No, we're gonna
at
find a
least
different way of
another
doing this.
2 months.
I agree. We're gonna figure out a new way to do this, and when we
Going on
do,
hiatus. Also, when we come back, I want to have at least 2 more subscribers.
I agree. Let's strive for 20. All right. Peace out, everybody.